6-year-old Noah Parker sat quietly by the living room window, hugging a faded blue teddy bear against his chest. Outside, the rain tapped softly against the glass of their tiny apartment in rural Ohio. Cars passed slowly on the wet street, their headlights glowing like blurry stars. Noah used to love rainy days. Rainy days meant pancakes. Rainy days meant his father would sit beside him, make funny dinosaur noises, and build blanket forts across the living room floor. But now the apartment was silent. Too silent. 3 months earlier, Noah's father, Daniel Parker, had died in a terrible trucking accident on Interstate 71 during a snowstorm. One moment, Daniel was driving home from work, singing country songs in his truck like he always did, and the next moment, he was gone. Noah still didn't completely understand death. He only understood that Daddy stopped coming home. No more footsteps at the door. No more warm hugs. No more bedtime stories. And worst of all, no more laughter. His mother, Emily, tried her best to stay strong. She smiled even when her eyes looked tired. She kissed Noah every morning and told him everything would be okay. But Noah noticed things. Children always notice things. He noticed the unopened bills stacked on the kitchen table. He noticed how his mother skipped dinner sometimes, pretending she had already eaten. He noticed the way she cried quietly at night after thinking he had fallen asleep. Their apartment grew colder each week because the heating bill had become too expensive. One evening, Emily sat beside Noah on the couch and gently brushed his messy brown hair. "Buddy," she whispered softly, "Mommy has to find work." Noah looked up with wide eyes. "You already work." "I know," she said with a sad smile. "But the diner cut my hours. I need another job too." Noah lowered his head. "Will you leave?" Emily's face broke for a moment. "No," she said quickly. "Never leave you." But deep inside, she feared something terrible. She had no choice. A week later, Emily finally found temporary work cleaning rooms at a motel nearly 40 minutes away. The pay was terrible, but it was enough to buy groceries. The problem was childcare. They couldn't afford daycare anymore. Emily asked neighbors for help, but everyone worked long shifts themselves. One cold Thursday morning, Emily knelt in front of Noah before sunrise. "I need you to be brave today," she whispered. Noah rubbed his sleepy eyes. "You're leaving, just for a few hours." She pointed toward the small bedroom nearby where Noah's baby sister, Lily, slept in her crib. Lily was only 10 months old, tiny, fragile, always smiling. Emily placed both hands on Noah's shoulders. "You only need to watch cartoons with Lily until Mrs. Hernandez gets home downstairs. She promised to check on you during lunch." Noah tried to be brave like his father always told him. "Okay," and Emily kissed his forehead for a long time before standing up. But before leaving, she suddenly turned back and hugged him tightly again. Too tightly, as if she feared the world might take him away too. The apartment door clicked shut, and silence returned. At first, everything seemed okay. Noah poured cereal carefully into a bowl for himself. Most of the cereal spilled onto the counter, but he cleaned it the best he could. Lily woke up around 8 in the morning, giggling as Noah lifted her from the crib. "You hungry?" he asked seriously, like a little grown-up. Lily pulled his hair and laughed. Noah made her a bottle exactly the way his mother taught him. Too much formula, too little water, but Lily drank happily anyway. The hours passed slowly. Noah turned on cartoons and wrapped Lily in a blanket beside him. Outside, snow began falling softly, then heavily, then violently. By noon, the storm had become dangerous. The wind howled outside like wolves. The apartment lights flickered once, twice. Then everything went black. No TV, no heat, no light. Lily immediately started crying. Noah's small heart pounded hard. "It's okay," he whispered shakily. "It's okay." But it wasn't okay. The apartment became colder every minute. Noah searched for candles the way he once saw his mother do during a blackout, but he couldn't find any. The wind outside sounded terrifying. The windows rattled. Snow covered nearly everything outside. Noah looked toward the clock, 1:13 p.m. His mother should have called by now, but the phone remained silent. Then suddenly, Lily began coughing. A deep cough. Again and again, Noah panicked. "Please stop," he whispered, holding her close. He remembered his mother saying Lily had been fighting a cold for days. Now her little cheeks looked pale. Very pale. Noah didn't know what to do. He carried Lily to the couch and wrapped every blanket around her he could find. Then he climbed beside her and held her tiny hand. "Mommy's coming," he whispered. But hours passed, and still no mommy. By evening, the apartment felt like a freezer. Noah's fingers hurt from cold. Lily cried weakly against his chest. Outside, snow buried the streets. Cars had stopped moving completely. Noah finally gathered enough courage to open the apartment door and look into the hallway. Darkness, cold air, silence. "Mrs. Hernandez?" He called softly. No answer again. Nothing. Noah shut the door quickly, fear crawling through his tiny body. He had never felt so alone. At 7 p.m., there was finally a loud knock at the door. Noah jumped. "Noah!" A voice shouted from outside. It was his mother. Noah nearly cried from relief. He struggled to unlock the deadbolt with frozen fingers before opening the door. Emily rushed inside, covered in snow, breathing hard. "Oh my God!" She immediately grabbed Lily. The baby's skin felt burning hot now. Emily's face turned white with panic. "We're going to the hospital. But the snow, we have to try." Emily wrapped Lily tightly in blankets while Noah pulled on his little winter boots. Outside, the storm looked terrifying. Snow reached Noah's knees. The roads were nearly invisible. Emily carried Lily close while holding Noah's hand tightly as they pushed through the storm toward the main road. Noah could barely feel his feet anymore, but he never complained. Not once, because he saw the fear in his mother's eyes, and that frightened him more than the storm itself. Nearly 20 freezing minutes later, headlights appeared through the snow. A pickup truck stopped beside them. An older man leaned out the window. "You folks need help." Emily nearly broke into tears. "Yes, please." The man quickly opened the truck doors. "Get in." Noah climbed inside first while Emily cradled Lily in the backseat. The heater blasted warm air. For the first time all day, Noah stopped shaking. The man introduced himself as Walter Jenkins, a retired farmer heading home before the roads became impossible. "You picked a bad night to walk," he muttered kindly. Emily looked down. "I didn't have a choice." Walter glanced at Noah in the mirror. The little boy sat silently, holding his teddy bear with both hands. Something about Noah's face hurt Walter deeply. Children shouldn't look that tired. At the hospital, doctors rushed Lily into emergency care. Emily sat in the waiting room trembling uncontrollably while Noah leaned against her shoulder half asleep. Hours later, a doctor finally approached. "She'll be okay." Emily burst into tears immediately. "She has pneumonia," the doctor explained gently. "But you brought her in just in time." Emily covered her mouth, crying harder. Noah looked up quietly. "Is my sister gonna die?" The doctor knelt beside him. "No, buddy, your sister is strong." Noah nodded slowly. "Strong, like Daddy used to say." That night, Noah fell asleep curled beside his mother in the hospital waiting room chair. For the first time in months, Emily looked at her son carefully. Really carefully. Dark circles under his eyes. Tiny cracked hands from cold weather. A child trying far too hard to become a man. And suddenly, she realized something heartbreaking. Noah had stopped being a little boy the day his father died. Emily gently kissed his forehead while he slept. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Outside the hospital window, snow continued falling across the silent Ohio streets. But somewhere deep inside that frightened little family, a tiny piece of hope finally returned. The next morning, sunlight poured softly through the hospital window. The storm had finally ended. Noah woke slowly, confused at first by the strange room and the steady beeping sounds nearby. Then he remembered everything. The blackout, the snow, Lily coughing, his mother crying. He sat up quickly. Emily was asleep in a chair beside him, still wearing yesterday's clothes. Her head rested awkwardly against the wall, and exhaustion covered her face. Noah quietly climbed down from the chair. For a moment, he simply watched her. Even at 6 years old, he understood something important. His mother was breaking. Not because she was weak, because life had been too cruel. Noah carefully pulled the thin hospital blanket over her shoulders the same way she always covered him at night. Then he padded quietly toward Lily's hospital room. The tiny baby slept peacefully under warm blankets while machines softly beeped beside her. Her breathing sounded better now. A nurse smiled warmly when she noticed Noah standing in the doorway. "You must be the big brother." Noah nodded. "Is she okay?" "She's getting stronger." Noah looked relieved. "That's good." The nurse knelt beside him. "Your mom told us what happened yesterday." Noah lowered his eyes. "I tried to take care of her." The nurse's smile faded slightly. "You did a very brave thing." But Noah didn't feel brave. He felt tired, very tired. 3 days later, Lily was finally released from the hospital. The problem was Emily had missed work. Again, the motel manager called that afternoon. "We need someone reliable," he said coldly over the phone. Emily begged quietly. "Please, my daughter was hospitalized. I'm sorry." Click, the call ended. Emily stared silently at the dead phone. Another job gone, another door closed. Noah stood nearby watching her carefully. "Mom?" Emily forced a smile. "It's okay." But Noah knew that smile. It was the same fake smile she used after Daddy died. Over the next few weeks, life became harder than ever. Emily searched everywhere for work. Restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, cleaning services, anywhere. But every place either paid too little or needed full-time availability she couldn't give because of the children. The fridge slowly emptied. The apartment became colder. Noah pretended not to notice when his mother skipped meals. But one night, he woke up thirsty and quietly walked toward the kitchen. That's when he saw her. Emily sat alone at the table in darkness, staring at a stack of unpaid bills and crying silently. Noah froze, his chest hurt. Children aren't supposed to see their parents break apart, but he did. Emily quickly wiped her tears when she noticed him. "What are you doing awake?" "I got thirsty." Emily stood immediately and poured him water with shaky hands. Noah looked at the nearly empty fridge. "Mom, are we poor?" The question shattered her. She knelt slowly beside him. "We just need a little help right now. Daddy used to help." Emily closed her eyes. "Yes." Noah stared at the floor. "I miss him." Emily hugged him tightly. "I miss him too." And for the first time since the funeral, mother and son cried together. The following Monday, Noah returned to school after missing several days during the storm. But things felt different now. Before his father died, Noah used to laugh constantly. He loved dinosaurs, loved crayons, loved recess. Now he sat quietly in the back corner of class drawing little houses covered in snow. His teacher, Mrs. Campbell, noticed immediately. One afternoon, she sat beside him during art class. "What are you drawing?" Noah shrugged. "My house." Mrs. Campbell studied the picture carefully. In the drawing, a tiny boy stood alone beside a dark window while snow fell outside. Noah had drawn himself very small, almost invisible. Mrs. Campbell felt her heart ache. "Do you want to talk?" Noah shook his head. But after a long silence, he whispered something so quietly she almost missed it. "I try to protect my mom." Mrs. Campbell looked stunned. Children his age usually talked about cartoons or toys, not protecting parents. "What makes you think you have to do that?" Noah's answer came instantly. "Because Daddy can't anymore." That evening, Mrs. Campbell visited the Parker apartment after school. Emily looked embarrassed when she opened the door. "I'm sorry about the mess." But Mrs. Campbell barely noticed the clutter. She noticed the empty cupboards, the cold apartment, the exhaustion in Emily's face, and suddenly everything made sense. "Noah's been carrying a lot," the teacher said gently. Emily looked down immediately. "I know, he's trying to become the man of the house." Tears filled Emily's eyes. He shouldn't have to. Mrs. Campbell hesitated before speaking again. "Our school has programs that can help." Emily immediately shook her head. "No charity. This isn't charity, it's support." Emily's voice cracked. "I don't want my kids growing up feeling pitied." Mrs. Campbell smiled softly. "They won't remember pity." She glanced toward Noah's room. "They'll remember who showed up." The next week, things slowly began changing. A food box appeared anonymously outside the apartment door, then winter coats, then groceries. Emily cried the moment she discovered them. No note, no name, just kindness. Later she learned Mrs. Campbell had quietly organized help through the school and local church. For the first time in months, the fridge was full again. Noah stared at the food in amazement. Did Santa come late? Emily laughed for the first time in weeks, a real laugh. And hearing that sound made Noah smile too, but life still wasn't easy. One night, Lily developed another fever. Emily panicked instantly. The memory of the hospital still haunted her. She stayed awake all night holding the baby while Noah sat nearby rubbing his sleepy eyes. "You should sleep," Emily whispered. Noah shook his head. "What if she stops breathing?" Emily's heart nearly broke. No 6-year-old should fear death this much, as she pulled Noah close beside her. "Listen to me carefully," she whispered. "You're still a little boy." Noah looked confused. "You don't have to carry everything, but you're tired." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I know, and Daddy's gone." "I know." Noah's tiny voice trembled. "So somebody has to help you." Emily couldn't hold back her tears anymore. She hugged him tightly while Lily slept against her shoulder. "Noah, saving this family is not your job, but I want to." Emily kissed the top of his head. "And that's why your father would be so proud of you." Weeks passed. Spring slowly arrived in Ohio. Snow melted. Birds returned, and little by little, hope returned too. Emily eventually found work at a local bakery owned by an elderly woman named Margaret. Margaret understood struggle. She allowed Emily flexible hours and even let her bring Lily some mornings. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to survive, enough to breathe again. And slowly, Noah began acting like a child again. He laughed more. He played outside. He drew colorful dinosaurs instead of lonely windows. One afternoon at school, Mrs. Campbell noticed something different immediately. Noah was smiling, a real smile. "What changed?" she asked gently. Noah thought carefully before answering. "Mom smiled this morning." Sometimes children only need one small sign that everything might be okay. That summer, Emily took Noah and Lily to a small county fair. It was the first fun thing they had done since Daniel died. Noah rode the tiny Ferris wheel twice. He won a stuffed tiger at a ring toss game. And for a few hours, life almost felt normal again. As the sun set, Emily sat beside Noah on a bench near the glowing carnival lights. "You know something?" she asked softly. "What?" "We made it through winter." Noah looked confused. "Winter's over." Emily smiled gently. "I know, but she meant something much deeper." The cold season inside their hearts had finally started melting too. Noah leaned his head against her shoulder. Daddy would have liked this fair. Emily looked toward the orange evening sky. "Yes," she whispered, "he would have." Then Noah asked the question she feared most. "Do you think Daddy can still see us?" Emily swallowed hard. "I think love doesn't disappear." Noah looked up at the stars beginning to appear above the fairgrounds. "Then maybe he knows I tried to protect you." Emily pulled him into her arms immediately. "Oh, sweetheart," Noah's small voice trembled. "I was scared." Emily held him tighter. "I know. I thought maybe you'd disappear too." Emily closed her eyes as tears rolled down her cheeks. "I'm here." And this time, she truly was. Years later, Noah would barely remember the details of that terrible winter. Memory softens things with time, but he would always remember certain moments clearly. The freezing apartment, holding Lily during the blackout, his mother crying at the kitchen table, the warm heater inside Walter Jenkins' truck, and most importantly, the moment his mother finally smiled again. Because sometimes the thing children fear most is not hunger or storms or darkness. It's losing the people they love. And for one little 6-year-old boy in Ohio, the return of his mother's smile felt like the entire world coming back to life.